Volkswagen Commonwealth service. We're at shoplesslast.com. We're here today to talk a little bit about preventative maintenance and kind of what happens when you wait too long between purchasing new tires, new brake pads, and rotors. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a minute. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between what to look for with good brake pads, bad brake pads, tires, and things of that nature. But first, I wanted to introduce our guest. We have Bob here. He's a certified technician who works for Volkswagen at Commonwealth Motors, who knows this stuff better than most people. So Bob, I just want to thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So a couple of things. Yeah, man, absolutely. So a couple of things. What we have here is we clearly have a really good tire and a really bad tire. Talk to me about some of the differences and kind of what to look for and how does stuff like this happen?
I mean, obviously you can see this tire was worn pretty evenly, but it's completely worn out. You have the rain grooves across it. You have the siping that's actually supposed to be these grooves that lead the water or snow or whatever away from the actual tread portion where it contacts. You can see on this tire, all that siping is completely gone. All those rain grooves are completely gone. So this is pretty much just worn out at this point, and there's no place for any of the snow or water or rain to go. When the rubber is making contact with the road, it increases your risk of hydrating dramatically with having a tire like this, worn out like that. When you put on a brand new tire, obviously you get all that back, you get all the tread back, and that's what's actually contacting ground for you. When you're talking about something like this, you may actually end up with a smaller contact patch here than you do with this. And contact patch on a tire is only, a band to begin with. So, when you end up with something that worn, you're going to increase your stopping distance by 2 to 3 times. And you're going to make it so that not only that, but when you go to swerve, when you go to handle, the handling's not going to be there either.
No kidding. So that's how you're driving straight. You want to take a right and your car keeps going straight.
Yeah, absolutely. That hydroplaning, that contact patch being affected by the tread there is going to make it so that your handling's a lot less, and like I said, stopping distance goes up 2 to 3 times.
Wow, no kidding. Let me ask you this as well. Let's say I have 2 tires that are worn like this, and I have 2 fairly decent tires. Would you recommend, from a budget standpoint, at least changing that one tire and keeping that one bad one on? Like, let's say if it's the front.
In the case of tires, you always want to do them with pairs, whether it's front axle, rear axle. All-wheel drive cars, they seem to respond a lot better with the fact that all 4 tires are changed out at once. If it's a front-wheel drive or wheel drive, you can do 2 tires on the front, 2 tires on the back, but just doing 1 tire makes it so that your differential always has to work. If there's more than 3 30-seconds variance there, then it makes it so that the differential is always having to put some differential action in, and that means that the fluid in that gets hotter, it gets worn out a lot faster. So if your tires are at the same specification, left to right, it's going to make it so the car runs better overall.
All right, guys, we're back again, and this time we're going to talk a little bit about brake pads and rotors, kind of some of the things to look for, because we use some of that stuff every single day when we're out and driving. So, Bob, talk to me about what we have here specifically.
All right. What we have here is a couple brake pads and a brake rotor. These are obviously used. They came off a car. They're pretty well worn. Some of the things that you'll notice, here's a brake pad that has some brake material left on it, some friction material. Here's a brake pad that's been used completely, 100%. There's no friction material left whatsoever. It's actually down to metal. Once that happens, however, you're always going to make it so that you're contacting metal to metal on that brake rotor, and that creates a groove, which means it can't be repaired. Sometimes, if you get in soon enough with your brake pads where you can get to the point where you can resurface the rotors, get them done at 2 30-seconds, you end up saving the rotors sometimes, not having to replace them. The other thing to look for is once you start hearing any sort of noise, you want to get in immediately, because that's what happens here, is these end up getting grooved down in. Now obviously stopping power is greatly reduced, and the distance that you end up traveling when trying to stop ends up being a lot greater.
And as you can see, I wanted to kind of show you the differences between a worn rotor and some worn pads versus what's brand new, and kind of what to look for when getting those replaced. So go ahead, Bob. Let the folks know at home kind of what we're looking at here.
So obviously, like Mike said, it's a new pad, new rotor, 1 pad and rotor. These are the things that I find a lot of people don't actually know about when you get into it. This is a brake pad. This is a brake rotor. These are what actually apply the pressure against the brake rotor in order to make the vehicle slow down and stop for you. So, I mean, there's separate components there. There's calipers that do the squeezing of the brake pad. There's a rotor that gets squeezed. That's what actually slows the vehicle down for you. Once these pads start to wear, even once they get down to the point where they're 3 and 4 30-seconds or 3 and 4 millimeters, then they actually start to lose braking potential. Obviously, when you get down to metal like this, you've lost all of that braking potential. With a new rotor, you actually have the thickness there as well. Over time, as the brake pads groove into the rotors, they end up taking down some of the material as well. With a new rotor, you actually get all the thickness of a full brand new disc brake, and so that actually gives you some time as far as braking on that end of it too.
I like it. All right. Makes sense. Well, guys, you've heard it here first. Commonwealth Motors, shopuslast.com. Morris, Massachusetts, 1 Commonwealth Drive, Volkswagen service. Thanks, Bob, for having me.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Thanks
it.
again, Mike.
You got it. We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon.
All right.